Fox News is trying to shut down Tucker Carlson again. The former Fox host made a return to the news industry with a Twitter video on June 6. It got over 104 million views pretty quickly. Establishment media, they attacked Tucker Carlson in unison, and Fox is now claiming that Tucker breached his contract with them. The debate, though, is turning into a broader conversation on First Amendment rights to free speech. After Tucker left Fox News, rumors were swirling of where he would go next. And on May 9th, Tucker revealed that his new show would not be on a news network or even on his own website. Instead, he announced he'd be taking full advantage of the video capabilities now on Twitter. Shortly afterwards, Elon Musk noted there was no signed deal between the platform and Tucker, and the lack of a signed deal could be important in the coming legal debates, because here's why all this really matters. Tucker and Fox News are on the brink of a very tense legal battle where each is accusing the other of breaching a contract. Apparently that contract restricts Tucker's ability to work on a news show. But even beyond this debate, the bigger question is whether a contract with a private company can restrict a person's constitutional rights. Can a news network stop a former host from publicly expressing an opinion? Well, Tucker's new show, called Tucker on Twitter, has a similar structure to his former show with Fox. It features Tucker's monologues, as well as a shorter takes he makes on various news topics.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. This morning it looks like somebody blew up the Kakhovka Dam. So if this was intentional, it was not a military tactic, it was an act of terrorism. The question is, who did it?
Now, the show is not just a straight news program, it's an opinion show, and Tucker expresses his viewpoints on it. In his first episode, he calls Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky our shifty, dead-eyed Ukrainian friend in the tracksuit. He says the media lies about the news and attacks people who talk about stories that they don't want to be discussed. And he also challenges the system of control that establishment media has gotten over national discussions. Soon after the video aired, however, Fox News accused the former host of violating his contract with the network. Axios claimed to have obtained a copy of the letter sent to Tucker's lawyers, and it reported that a breach in contract sets the stage for Fox to take legal actions against Tucker Carlson. The letter states, "In connection with such breach and pursuant to the agreement, Fox expressly reserves all rights and remedies which are available to it at law or equity." Now, Tucker signed his contract with Fox in November of 2019, and it was amended in February of 2021. The letter states that Fox was made aware of Tucker's Twitter video, which was just over 10 minutes long, and notes this: "Pursuant to the terms of the agreement, Mr. Carlson's services shall be completely exclusive to Fox." It also says that under the Fox contract that Tucker is, quote, "prohibited from rendering services of any type whatsoever, whether over the internet, via streaming, or similar distribution, or other digital distribution, whether now known or hereafter devised," meaning, well, everything. In other words, it happens that, well, it appears the contract with Fox could end Tucker's career in journalism. The former host is arguably unable to report the news in a video format, and if he does, Fox argues it has exclusive rights to that content. Now, Tucker is pushing back, and the grounds he's using could really become a watershed point for free speech. Tucker's lawyers argue that if Fox takes legal action against him, that it would violate his First Amendment rights under the Constitution. A statement obtained by NBC News from one of Tucker's lawyers, Mr. Brian Friedman, states this: "Fox defends its very existence on freedom of speech grounds. Now they want to take Tucker Carlson's right to speak freely away from him because he took to social media to share his thoughts on current events." Now, it could turn into a serious legal argument. Can a business restrict a former employee from expressing their opinions on topics unrelated to the company? Can a business restrict a person from commenting on politics or news? What if they express their opinions or talk about news on the internet? After all, the internet has become the new town square. It's where most discussions happen these days. Can a company strip a person of that right, including on a social media platform like Twitter, for example? Now, of course, there are legal issues similar to this. There are, for example, non-disclosure agreements. There are non-competitive agreements, and these can restrict a person from revealing certain information or from, a person starting a business that would compete with a former employer. But this debate between Tucker and Fox, it's going to show how far contracts like this are able to go. It's also possible they may try to avoid the legal conflict altogether, but given the situation between Tucker and Fox, well, it may be unlikely. There are several key issues at stake, and Fox is not too happy with it seems. One of them is that Tucker can compete not just with Fox, but with the media establishment overall. In fact, Tucker Carlson is openly calling out the systems of information control, which he says are keeping Americans focused on pointless news topics and keeping Americans from discussing issues that actually matter. Watch.
50 years later, it is bewildering to consider the ironies here. We're the ones who live in ignorance now. The U.S. government has managed to classify more than 1 billion so-called public documents. So at this point, we can't possibly know what our leaders are doing. We're not allowed to know. By definition, that is not a democracy. Yet it's fine with the media. Secrecy is a powerful tool of control. Stop asking how we got so rich. Here's another story about racism. Go eat each other. That's the program. That's how most of us now live here in the United States. Manipulated by lies, silenced by taboos. It is unhealthy and it's dehumanizing, and we're tired of it.
Then there's the other reality for Fox, which is that Tucker has the potential of siphoning off a large portion of their viewers. They risk losing a large chunk of their audience, as people may choose to watch Tucker rather than Fox. This is especially the case if Tucker can start his news show within the narrow window of public controversy at him leaving the network. Now, Tucker Carlson was pushed out of Fox back in April. They canceled the show, Tucker Carlson Tonight, despite it being the most popular primetime show, not just on Fox, but on any news platform at all. And views at Fox plummeted afterwards. They never fully disclosed, notably, why Tucker was ousted, although there are many rumors on why that happened circulating around. Tucker Carlson made it clear very soon after leaving the network, though, that he was not done with news, that he would not just disappear from the public stage so easily. He posted a video on Twitter on April 26 where he criticized what he called the unbelievably stupid content featured in most television debates. And he also claimed that political parties are colluding to shut down public debate on issues that actually do matter. Watch.
The undeniably big topics, the ones that will define our future, get virtually no discussion at all. War, civil liberties, emerging science, demographic change, corporate power, natural resources. When was the last time you heard a legitimate debate about any of those issues? It's been a long time. Debates like that are not permitted in American media. Both political parties and their donors have reached consensus on what benefits them, and they actively collude to shut down any conversation about it.
Now, with that statement, Tucker made it clear that he's not only planning to stay in the news business, but he also intends to expose and challenge the system of control on information, and by extension of that, the system of control over what topics drive our political debates. Tucker's war is not just about a former Fox News host, fighting a contract to stay in the news business. It's about whether we as individuals have the right to free speech, and whether any power, whether it's corporate or government, can take that right away from us. It's also about the importance of news overall. It's the argument that news is not just a normal business. News is a necessary public service. It can expose corruption. It can keep nations educated and make people aware of what matters. If the hands of power seize control of information, they also seize control of public debate, and along with it, the information that determines the direction of a nation. And if the people can seize that power back, well, it places that power back in the hands of we, the people. Stay tuned after the break. We'll be speaking with Representative Tim Burchett about the push for greater transparency on UFOs and unidentified aerial phenomena.